Hello and welcome back to Forgotten Dailies. Today we're going to do a little how-to video. It's not going to be a super long video, but hopefully in the process of this, it helps out some fellow members. If you, We're going to be taking these seats apart and getting them ready to ship. These seats are from a 1984 Dodge Daytona Turbo Z that we parted last fall. It was a 64,000 original mile car. Unfortunately, it sat for 30 plus years, and Mother Nature was not kind to the bottom end. But as you can see, this is actually the driver's side, and it's got some normal cracking, but nothing extreme. There are no holes that I have seen. These seats are in very nice condition for being 39 going on 40 years old. So these are the Mark Cross black leather. It was an option in the Turbo Z Daytona. This car that it came from was actually kind of a plain, bare bones car. This was probably the nicest option that it had, was the leather, the Mark Cross seats. But they're manual, non-power. This is the passenger side. I did use some 3-in-1 leather conditioner on them just now, just to try to help soften them up a little bit more for the shipment. They're getting ready to go to the East Coast, the New England states. So we're going to box them up tonight and get them on their way tomorrow. So with that said, the tools that you're going to need is a 13 millimeter, 15 millimeter, of course a ratchet, and maybe an extension and a Phillips screwdriver. There's not a lot to taking these apart. So what we're going to do is we're going to separate the back from the bottom, and the reason we're going to do that is because that makes it easier to put it in a box. I can actually get both seats inside one box securely, to just so it's less cost for the buyer on the shipping charges, and it works better. So with that said, we're going to end up removing the lower mounting brackets. That's mostly saves a little bit of weight, but then you don't have these sharp edges protruding out, potentially, getting knocked into one of the seats and tearing a hole in it. We're trying to prevent that from happening. These are going in a car that the gentleman is working on trying to redo. So that could be the first step. It could be the last step. It's depending on how you want to do it. So we've got these screws. There's one down here, and then there's two up here. I don't think there's any on the back. So we're going to start with this top bracket. We're going to take these two screws out, and then that will pop off, and then it will show us, we'll get to this screw, and then there's I think there's another one back in behind here. Once that screw comes off, that trim comes off, and then on the other side we'll have the same thing. We're going to have, sorry for the carpet here in the way, I'm trying to keep it so I don't scar my knees up on this old concrete floor. Anyways, we got two more screws there. Another one way down below. I got to clean those up a little bit better, I see. Again, same thing. Remove the top two screws, and then that'll allow you access to the bottom two, and those two trim pieces come off. And then once we get that apart, there should be on the inside a 13/16 bolt that holds that side together. And then on this side behind the plastic trim here is going to be two bolts here and two bolts here, and that's what keeps the reclining mechanism together. So we're going to do that. I may end up taking off the seatbelt retainers. I'm not sure. We're going to look into that. That's a possibility. So then once we get those apart, that'll allow the bottom to flip over, and then there's four bolts that hold the brackets on the bottom. So I'll try to do this step by step here a little bit and give you a better idea of how this is done. I'm going to try to do a time lapse here. Okay, so that gets the brackets off. As you can see, the driver's side bracket is off. And now we have a nice bottom here that is ready to go. So we'll set that off to the side because we're not going to need it anymore. And then we're going to look closer at these the backs to see if it's better to leave them or if we can try to get them off. It's really hard to tell. I'll set this down real quick if I can. I really don't. I think maybe there's a zipper. Some of these had a zipper on the bottom. Let's look. Nope, no zipper. These are only hog rings. So we're going to leave those. We're going to leave the back brackets on there. And like I said, we'll just use some pool noodle, bubble wrap, something, and we will get them together. So with that said, we're going to work on the passenger side next. We'll get that one done. Again, it goes the bolt. Get them here. Goes the bolt and the rubber washer in through the bracket, and then this big washer goes on the back side of the bracket against the seat. That's how they came apart, and there's one on each side. You got a bolt, a rubber washer here, and then a big washer here. And then on the trim, this is the bottom, which is this piece here. I'll clean it up here in a minute. Those take the two short screws. You can see on the back side, this one's still in here. So the two short screws go in those. And on the up and down piece, if I can talk, which I call the back, it takes the long screws. Well, it's hard to focus. And they go in these two holes here. So these will be going as well, because I did the 86 Turbo Z that I just hauled away. The other day I took the seat back off of the passenger seat because it was actually in really nice shape. The bottom was all tore up, but the back was fine. But they were different. It was a different design. So apparently somewhere between 84 and 86, so I don't know if they did it in 85 or if they did it in 86, they changed the side latching things on these seats. So with that said, I learned something new today. But I'm not going to bore you with doing the passenger side. You've already seen the driver, so hopefully that gives you a better idea of how to get these apart. I can do the 86 seat. I still have the driver's seat from that car. If it's needed, if somebody wants to see that, that's not a problem. So anyways, thanks for watching. Like, follow, subscribe, comment if you want to see something else. If I did something wrong, you think something could work better, by all means, I'm definitely not afraid to learn. So thank you and have a great day.